Scary ocean creatures caught on camera. This looks like some kind of shape-shifting creature. Scientists are not sure what it is. This was caught on a Shell oil rig camera. It looks like a gigantic monster squid. This is said to be a gigantic megalodon shark. It has red glowing eyes. Just imagine running into this while scuba diving.
Really weird things found in the mountains that will absolutely blow your mind. First up, we have the Fresno night crawlers. These are insane. They have 4 to 5 feet long legs. They've been captured on video multiple times in Yosemite and Fresno. Crazy. Here we have this tree, but it doesn't look like a tree. This looks like out of like a Skyrim video game or something. Really kind of creepy. Then we have the goblins. These are in Utah. They were not man-made, but they look like goblins. I don't know what they're protecting. And then the famous lake in Australia that's always pink. Researchers don't know why, but it's always pink. Pretty crazy.
These are the craziest things found in woods. Let's go. First, we have the stairs in the woods that a lot of people can't explain, and they're like all over the place. And we don't even know where they lead to, but a lot of people feel so uncomfortable when they're around them. Okay, but what about this whole plane that people found? So this is actually somebody's house, and yes, it's a real plane. A guy named Bruce lives in that plane with his family in Oregon. Last but not least, somebody found Winnie the Pooh's house while they were walking.
Sea creatures caught on tape part 1. Now, I know you guys hate giant spiders, but what if I told you there was one huge, still alive? UFOlogists were studying a ring-shaped island they had just found. So they went on Google Earth to discover it and saw something huge on its rocks. They saw this huge shaped-legged creature on the rocks that looked like a spider. They believe since it was by the sea, it might be a huge crab. It was so huge it baffled the scientists, and they think it's the size of a bus or bigger. Just shows you how much we haven't discovered on this planet yet. Like this video if you want a part 2.
Tread carefully because we never know what's below the surface. This lunatic is Jason from Friday the 13th. He has terrorized summer camps and teenagers for decades. In the 6th and final episode, this psychopath is chained to the bottom of a lake and left for eternity. So someone in Crosby, Minnesota makes an exact Jason replica. Same face mask, actual machete, same clothes, and instead of putting it in a museum, he puts it in the bottom of one of the most populated dive spots to troll all the divers.
So over the weekend, an anglerfish washed up on Newport Beach. This is insane, you guys. This never happens. A female deep sea Pacific football fish, which is just one of the 300 species of anglerfish. Deep sea fish rarely wash up onto shore, and the fact that this one was fully intact is weird. These guys live 3,000 to 6,000 feet below the surface, so scientists aren't really sure why this happened. California Department of Fish and Wildlife currently has it. It will most likely end up at some educational institution or museum. It's rare that we encounter these anglerfish, and the fact that it just washed up on shore is insane.
These are some of the creepiest things that have ever been found in the ocean. 5 years ago, a man and his friend were diving deep in the Pacific Ocean when they found a scuba diver's glove with a severed hand fully intact inside of it. Till this day, they don't know who the hand belonged to. In 2012, this giant eyeball was found floating off the coast of Florida by scientists. They said that it was too big to be the eye of a giant squid, and they don't know where it came from. And finally, if you go to Antarctica, there's a pretty good chance you'll see this sunken Brazilian cargo ship. Nobody knows how it got there or what happened to the crew.
Really weird things found in the middle of the woods that are actually kind of creepy. The first, we have this dinosaur head. Some think it might be a petrified dinosaur, but we still don't really know. And then there's this mask. I don't know if you guys have seen any horror movies, but I think something's sus about this mask. Oh my gosh, this is the house where 5 families were found to be killed. They still don't know who did it. Next, we have this Jeep. There's literally not a road in sight on this road. I have no idea. It got plopped out of sky. This guy's a time traveler. And then if you're thirsty, here's some water. Follow for more.
These are some of the creepiest things that have ever been found in the woods. A man once found this sign in the middle of a forest. It reads, "In the river lies a girl, in the water swims her blood." Creepy. This weird looking bronze mask was found next to a river in the mud, and we don't know where it came from. A woman once came across these 2 alien-like statues in the middle of the woods. We don't know how they got there or who put them there. A man took this video of what appears to be the forest floor breathing like an animal. Weird.
I asked Google about the mysterious staircases in the woods, which, according to Jesse V's recent video, are gateways to hell. And I know where to find one. Stories say that the stairs are only found deep within the woods, often being associated with sinister activity for those who climb them.
The video specifically says do not climb them, but come on, I mean...
After arriving and a bit of searching,
we found it.
I found them again, daring myself to go up. With each step, I felt more and more uneasy, but after making it to the top,
Made it!
my cameraman spotted something unusual. Yo, what is this? Like for a part 2. In my latest viral video, I found a mysterious staircase in the middle of the woods.
We found it.
Which are said to have sinister effects on those who climb them. And when about to leave, my cameraman pointed out something unusual.
What is this?
But as we began to read the message, the weather quickly turned, and we rushed back to the car.
Dude, are these coordinates or something? I think these are coordinates.
But to where? So I asked Google, and it was the coordinates to Moonville Tunnel, a site which is infamous for its paranormal encounters. 500,000 likes, and I'll continue the investigation.
This is part 2 of the weirdest places in the world that you might have not known existed. Number 1, the Sedlik Ossuary in the Czech Republic. This is essentially a church full of human bones. It's estimated that it contains the skeletons of between 400 and 700,000 people. It even features chandeliers made entirely out of human bones. Number 2, Nagoro, Japan. It's a Japanese village filled with dolls. They are literally posed everywhere throughout the village. The people who live there started making doll replicas of people that died or moved away from the village. I think it's super creepy, but it attracts a lot of tourists. Number 3, the hanging coffins in the Philippines. This was practiced by an ancient tribe in the Philippines. They thought that by hanging their coffins on the side of cliffs, it would bring their souls higher to heaven. This practice still happens to this day, although it's a lot less common.
Bone-chilling discoveries made by explorers, Part 5. Situated in the northwestern portion of Georgia, the Chattahoochee River housed various bases for the United States Army during the Second World War. While scuba diving near one of these old World War II bases, popular YouTuber Jake or D Almighty found something thoroughly terrifying.
Jake's friend pulled what they believed to be a live mortar shell from the bottom of the river. And they were right. While initially excited for such a cool find, they learned from police and bomb squad later that that shell was in fact live, and had it detonated, there would have been a kill radius of 30 feet. There's a link to the video in the comment section if you want to watch it.
Terrifying, scary, sometimes unusual, mysterious things that are found around the world. Here we go. Let's check out Bulgaria. Archaeologists in Bulgaria have unearthed a staked vampire. The man was likely in his 40s. An iron rod pictured right here was hammered through his chest with the hopes that he will not rise and start biting the shit out of people. This vampire had a metal object staked right through his mouth. Sometimes they would remove legs of what they thought were vampires so that it would immobilize when they rose from the dead. Back in the 13th century, people actually really thought and were scared to death of vampires. They thought they roamed the earth and took people's lives at night. If you guys ever see a vampire at night, just give them some old, rotten Chinese food and some dumpster pizza and you'll be fine. Anyways, as usual, no part 2s. Throw me a follow, like, and comment. Sub to my YouTube, link in the bio. Peace.
Most terrifying things found in the deep sea. Now before I show y'all the photo, I have to give y'all some information. Now there isn't a lot of information on this terrifying shark statue. All we know is the location is Lake Neuchâtel, which is a popular diving destination, but I can't imagine seeing this by accident. Here's the photo.
Yo, what's up? Here's some of the top terrifying secret locations around the world, part 1. Number 1 is going to be Ponary Fortress in Romania. Now we all know the story of Dracula and how freaking terrifying it is, but what if I told you that there was an actual real life ruler named Vlad III Dracula who ruled back in the 15th century? And this desolated castle in the middle of the mountains of Romania was actually his. Home to many dark spirits and vampires, it had to be put on this list. Next on our list is going to be the Cave of Hanging Snakes in Mexico. Now caves are already mysterious and eerie as it is, but imagine walking into a cave and realizing that it is infested by rat snakes that are living in the roof of the cave. And if you end up walking the whole cave, you will find yourself 2 hours away from your car in the middle of a dark cave. Last on our list is going to be the Boleskine Graveyard in Scotland. Now this place is over 500 years old, and it is said that an old occultist used to come and perform necromancy rituals and even try casting spells to reanimate the dead. Oh yeah, and it's also isolated 40 miles from anything else. So if you can find it, have fun.
So you know that joke where everything in Australia with a pulse is specially designed to make sure you don't have one? It's not a joke. Well, there's a plant that can make you suicidal. Dendronide moroids, aka the Gimpy plant, is covered in stinging hairs that, when touched, penetrate the skin and release a powerful neurotoxin. And that toxin is a ticket to all 9 circles of hell because the pain is described as being burned by scalding hot acid while being electrocuted. One poor bastard used this plant as toilet paper, and the anal assault that followed was so unbearable he shot himself. Bernie Ryder got slapped in the face with this plant in 1963, and until 1965 all he knew was pain. A World War II soldier fell face first into this suicide pack of a plant and had to be strapped to a hospital bed to keep him from canceling his own subscription to life. Once those hairs get on you, you would develop painful welts that would be highly sensitive to touch, changes in temperature, and water. Which means if you tried to take a shower afterwards, you would be in unbelievable agony. And you want to know why I respect and fear Australians? The same plant that can hand you 13 reasons at once is the same plant they eat, just as long as the stinging hairs are removed. And it's not just humans that are victims. A horse allegedly ate this plant and then proceeded to Hannah Baker itself, proving that Australia is Lucifer's sandbox.
Scientists think that there might just be a giant